Guys, do you know that there's a policy that allows you to convert your visitor's visa to work permit while inside Canada? Now, this program was supposed to end in February 28, 2023, but it was further extended for another 2 years. Now it's going to end in February 28, 2025, meaning another 2 years extension. What this means is that you can come into Canada as a visitor on a tourist visa and look for a job while you're in Canada. And if you're lucky to get a job while inside Canada, you can convert your visitor's visa or tourist visa into a work permit in Canada. Now, you must understand that there's no age limit. Your work permit is valid for 2 years. You can also apply for permanent residence after you must have worked in Canada for 1 year and gained experience under the Canadian Experience class. Your spouse can also come to Canada with an open work permit, which allows them to work for any employer of their choice and for any role they desire. Your kids who are dependent can also get a study permit when they come to Canada with you on this route. Now, one thing you must know is that with this policy, you do not require a job offer before you can come into Canada. Now, like I said earlier, you can come into Canada as a tourist, look for a job here in Canada, and if you're lucky to find one, you can convert your visitor's visa to a work permit. Now, please understand that there is no guarantee, because when you come into Canada, you have 6 months with a visitor's visa. So if you're able to get an employer who is willing to employ you within the 6 months and is able to provide you with an LMIA, then you're good. You can then apply for a work permit with the LMIA. Before now, the normal rule was that if you come into Canada as a visitor and you're able to find an employer to employ you and you apply for a work permit, you need to go out of Canada to apply for your work permit and then come into Canada or re-enter into Canada when you have the work permit. But right now, that policy has been abolished, and now you can come into Canada, find an employer, get a job, then apply inside Canada for a work permit. In this video, you're going to learn how to get a work permit if you have a visitor's visa and you're able to get a job in Canada. You're going to get step-by-step demonstration on how you can find LMIA approved jobs on the official Canadian website, which is Job Bank. You also find other genuine websites where you can find these jobs. You would also get tips on how to make customized CVs so that you'll be shortlisted when these employers find your CV. You also get to know about the benefits of working in Canada, the documents that you need to apply, the total cost involved, the processing time, and how to apply. So make sure you stay through to the very end so that you don't miss out on any of this information. So guys, now let's talk about the benefits of coming to Canada and working in Canada. Now, the first benefit is that you can actually get a work permit for 2 years that will enable you live in Canada, to work in Canada for 2 years. This will give you ample time to be able to gain Canadian experience while working on the job. The second benefit of working in Canada is that you can also apply for permanent residence after 1 year of working on that job under the Canadian Experience class. Your family members as well can also become permanent residents with you. The third benefit of working in Canada is that Canada is one of the few countries in the world that has a good healthcare system. Now, your family can also benefit from this healthcare system. Canada is one of the few countries in the world which gives free healthcare to temporary workers and their family members. Moreover, the healthcare system or the quality of care you're going to be getting in Canada is also very high. This is difficult to find in other countries that offer free healthcare. The fourth benefit of working in Canada is that if you get a work permit in Canada, right, your spouse or common law partner can also get an open work permit to work for any employer they choose and on any role they want. Your kids can also get study permits to study here in Canada while you're working. The fifth benefit of working in Canada is that there is no age limit for applying for a tourist visa, okay? There's no age limit. So if you're advanced in age, if you're over 40, 50, you have nothing to worry about because this doesn't affect you. Now let's talk about genuine websites where you can find LMIA approved jobs when you come into Canada on a tourist visa. The number one website I always talk about is the Job Bank, which is the official website for jobs by the Canadian government. Other websites where you can find jobs like this are Glassdoor, Randstad, Indeed, LinkedIn, Simply Hired, Monster, and Zip Recruiters. Guys, I want to take this time to tell you that if you're getting value from my video, please punch on the like button. Punch the like button. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. Now, let me walk you through how you can find LMIA approved jobs through the Job Bank, okay? Watch this. So this is how to find LMIA approved jobs. Just go to Google and type LMIA approved jobs in Canada, and then it brings out the Canada Job Bank website for you. You click on it and then it takes you to the official website. Now we have job openings of about 10,687 here, so click on it. Now when you click on it, by the left hand side you can actually choose the province where you want to. You can filter the province you want to apply for, if that's what you want. So there are different provinces here, and these are the number of jobs that they have available for temporary workers outside Canada. Okay, so you can click on anyone you want. You can also go down immediately after this and you can filter for the LMIA approved jobs itself. So these are companies that you can see LMIA approved, 976 options for you. Now these are companies that have already reached out to IRCC for permission, telling them that they've not found any Canadian or anyone who lives in Canada to fill up these roles they have, and they have openings currently for these particular roles, and that they are willing to employ temporary foreign workers at this time. So these ones already have the LMIAs to keep. So this is a good way to select or filter your search so that you don't search the wrong people, you don't go to the wrong employers. Moving on to how you can customize your CVs. There are certain ways your CV must look when applying for jobs through this website. You must understand that you cannot use one CV to apply for different roles. It does not apply. The first thing you want to note is that you must apply for relevant positions that you know that you can do, that you have the skills and experience. Don't say because you want to come to Canada, you're applying for any job you find on Job Bank. It won't work. You will only be wasting your time by doing this. Only check for jobs that match your skills and experiences. Number 2, you cannot use same CV to apply for different roles. Your CV must be customized or tailored to the job role you are applying for. When you look at the job description of the job you want to apply for, look at the responsibilities that have been outlined in the job description, and ensure that you tailor your CV with the keywords, with the exact keywords that you can find on the job description. Make sure that you're imputing them in your CV as well, showing that you can do these jobs. Now remember that a lot of employers, or majority of the employers in Canada, use a software to filter CVs. So when CVs come in, they do not manually look at these CVs word for word. There is a software that does this filtration for them. When the system does not find these keywords in your CV, it automatically rejects your CVs and picks only those where they find the keywords. Now let's move on to the policy change that was done in February 2023. Now watch this. This is a policy that was changed that explains that visitors in Canada can now apply for employer-specific work permits when they're in Canada. A temporary public policy has been issued to allow certain temporary residents to apply for a work permit from within Canada. Okay, now they said the public policy came into effect on August 24th, 2020, and the eligibility criteria were expanded to allow all visitors who are in Canada with valid temporary resident status to apply inland for an employer-specific work permit, which is a closed work permit, regardless of when they arrived in Canada. The public policy is being extended until February 28, 2025. So you guys can see that this is from the official Canada government's website. Now you have a job offer. What's next? When you have gotten an employer to employ you and give you a job role, the next thing you want to do is that the employer will have to give you an LMIA document. LMIA means Labor Market Impact Assessment. If you want to know more about this particular document, I did a video about it and I want to watch it next. I'll drop the link in the description below. Now the LMIA document, shows a job agreement that has the following information: the title of the job, your responsibilities on the job, the timing you will have on the job, the salary, the benefits that you're going to be getting from the job, the number of hours you're going to be working on the role will be stated in the job agreement, and if there are any overtime, this will also be stated in the agreement as well. Now, for an employer to give you an LMIA document, this employer must have proved to the Canadian government that he's not able to find anybody in Canada to fill that particular position. There are processes to this, okay? Once he's able to do this, he can then proceed to give you an LMIA document. With this document, you can then proceed to apply for a work permit while you are inside Canada. You do not need to leave Canada to apply for this visa. Moving on to how you can apply. How do you apply for the work permit with this job agreement? Number 1 is you can either approach a licensed immigration consultant to be able to do this for you. Now, these people are licensed by the Canadian government and they are knowledgeable, so they can know how to package your documents and make sure that you are successful at getting the visa. Now you need to pay for their service. Now you'll find a list of the licensed Canadian immigration consultants in the Canadian government's website. Now the second way is doing it yourself, which will save you time and also save you some money. Note that you would have to apply for an employer-specific work permit, which is otherwise called a closed work permit. Your spouse, if coming with you or if with you in Canada, would have to apply for an open work permit, while your dependent children will have to apply for a study permit. Now let's talk about the application fees and the processing time. The work permit visa fee is 155 Canadian dollars. This has to be paid, and this is non-refundable whether your visa is approved or not approved. Then the open work permit for your spouse will cost 100 Canadian dollars as well, and this is also not refundable. The average processing time for temporary visas, which is like the work permit visa or the tourist visa, is about 30 days. So it can be more or less, that's about the average processing time you can get. One thing I want you to understand about this whole process is that even though this might seem a bit easy, it takes a lot. You need to be aggressive while you're applying. You don't apply for 1 or 2 jobs and think you are done. You must look for as many jobs as you can apply as possible. And I always encourage people to come into Canada. Do not focus on the big provinces. Do not focus on the big cities. When you come into Canada with a visitor's visa with the intention to remain in Canada and get a job, please focus on the rural areas. Most of the rural areas are areas where people do not like to go to. People are not comfortable going there. They want to stay in the big cities where they know people, where they have friends and family. So they don't want to go to the rural areas. So most of the employers in the rural areas have demand for people. They have openings, vacancies that needs to be filled, and most times they are willing to go out of their way to get an LMIA document for you. So I would advise that you do your research thoroughly before coming to Canada with this route, okay, with this mindset. When you come into Canada, go to those rural areas, focus on these employers, be aggressive, go to them physically, meet with them, and see how you can get this dream of yours actualized. Guys, this is all you need to know about how you can come into Canada with a visitor's visa and switch to a work permit visa while in Canada. I hope I've done justice to this topic. I hope this has helped you understanding of how the process goes. In case you want to know how you can do the work permit yourself without engaging a lawyer or an immigration consultant, watch this video next.